Hi, my name is Brandon, and I'm an alcoholic and addict in recovery. Today, I want to talk about helpfulness and being helpful to other people. It's an important part of a lot of different types of recovery, whether it's AA, refuge recovery, smart recovery, and even just good living. Helping others is something that a lot of people feel is a valuable way to spend time, enrich yourself, enrich the community around you. And there's a lot of truth to that. I personally found that in my addiction, in my active addiction, I wasn't too concerned with helping others. I really took the selfish attitude of, it's my responsibility to help myself, your responsibility to help yourself, and that's all there is to it. In recovery, I've been encouraged to help others, and I enjoy helping others. It's one of the things that keeps me humble in my recovery, and it's also one of the things that keeps me connected with not only the recovery community, but the community of humans in general. But one of the things that I heard a lot of early in recovery was that this help and willingness to help needed to take precedence over anything else in life, even your own well-being. And that didn't always sit with me. And I didn't hear this message consistently, but I heard it enough times that I started questioning it and had to have a lot of discussions with my sponsor in the AA program about what's the right level of helping people. How do I balance helping others with taking care of myself, taking care of my family, taking care of work obligations? And my sponsor keyed in on that, and he said it's really all about balance. And that's something that as people with a substance use disorder, that's something that we generally have trouble with, is finding a middle ground, finding a balance. We like things one way or the other. Either we're helping everybody we can think about to help anytime they call on us to help, or everybody can take care of themselves. And there's not much in between. So reading a little bit about this gray area from Fuck Feelings by Dr. Michael I. Bennett and Sarah Bennett. They say, yes, other people need and deserve our help, and we have a special responsibility to help our family. The fact is, however, that many of us have an on-off switch in our brains when it comes to helpfulness. If it's on, we feel responsible for whatever happens to our helpees and guilty if we neglect to do something that might help. If it's off, too bad, they're on their own and there's no guilt to worry about. We avoid in-between commitments because they make us feel more uncertain about what we're supposed to do and whether we've done enough. Unfortunately, most of life isn't in the convenient on-off or black-white decision areas. It's in the in-between gray area where you have to do less and think more, also known as the place most humans hate the most. Helping indiscriminately, reacting reflexively instead of thoughtfully, does harm when it's misdirected, misappropriates resources, and raises risks. Yes, it's noble to make sacrifices for the sake of others, but not when the chances of benefit are low and the cost and risk are high. Many helpers by nature are not interested in doing cost-benefit analyses. They live to help and despise risk-benefit managers as cold-hearted, selfish, and timid. They would readily sacrifice their entire family resources for an incurably sick child, regardless of the impact on the health and welfare of the other kids, whose chances of growing up healthy and safe are diminished with each noble act. And this really came to light for me early in recovery when, I was hearing from some people, not all people in the AA program, but some people in the AA program, how important it was to be willing to, at a moment's notice, anytime, day or night, be willing to drop whatever you're doing to help another suffering addict or alcoholic. And the idea behind that was attractive to me, but I could not see how that was practical. For example, I have work obligations that if I were to tell my employer that I had to leave in the middle of the day to go help someone because they asked me to come to their house or whatever, I could end up getting fired from my job. And that puts my family in a pretty risky position in terms of whether or not we'll be able to bring in the money that we need to put food on the table. And so there's big things like that to consider. There's also the little things. I've had times where I've had obligations with, for example, my family, where we've been supposed to do something, and someone has called and wanted to talk at that moment. And I've had to find the middle ground and say to people, I can't talk right now, but I can talk in 2 hours, or I can't talk right now, I can talk tomorrow. And so it feels bad. I feel bad sometimes when that happens, because I've been told by so many people I should be willing to drop anything in my life in order to help another suffering alcoholic or addict. But the fact is that I feel like it's appropriate to do the hard risk benefit calculations that are needed to figure out, well, who else, is anybody else hurt by me trying to help somebody else? That being said, I spend a lot of time helping other people and doing things to help other people. And so it's not that I'm not willing to help others, but I have to find the balance between sacrificing things that I'm supposed to be doing to take care of my family, and to take care of my job and my financial well-being, and to take care of myself, and helping others. And what I have seen several times is people who get into the program of AA and get so entrenched in helping others that they don't take care of themselves, and they end up back where they started, which is in active addiction. So it's really important for us to embrace the ideals about helping other people. It's really important for us to develop the compassion, the kindness, and the love for other people that makes us want to help other people. That's a good thing. But we have to find the balance, and we have to always be careful to consider that there are other things. It's easy to say, oh, whenever anybody needs help in these situations, I'm going to drop whatever I'm doing and help them. That's the easy way out. The more difficult and nuanced approach is really making sure that you're still walking that balanced line between being helpful to as many people in your life as possible versus picking a select few to be helpful to anytime they need it. So, very curious to hear what anybody has to say about this in the comments. It's probably a topic that there are some people who would not agree with me on, and that's totally fine. But for me, the balance and striking that balance has been critical to maintaining the space I need to keep my own recovery in check, so I can continue to help the people I've been able to help so far. That's it for today. I'll be back here tomorrow with more. Have a good one.